I turned 30 on a Tuesday. After a long day at work, I drove home, excited about the dinner Amanda had promised me. 5 years together, 8 months engaged. And still, every moment with her felt like the first. Walking through our front door, I called her name. Silence. The house was dark and empty, except for a small note on the kitchen table. My heart raced as I read those 7 crushing words. I found someone better. Sorry, goodbye. A. If you're watching this, let me know where you're from in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe to my channel before I tell you how I never said a word to her after that note just disappeared, and how she's now desperately trying to get me back. I met Amanda during our junior year of college. We were both taking advanced computer science classes, though she was focusing on design while I was deep into programming. Our first conversation happened when she asked to borrow my textbook during a study session. That simple interaction led to coffee, which turned into dinner, which eventually blossomed into the relationship I thought would last forever. After graduation, we both landed jobs in Seattle. I secured a position as a software engineer at a growing tech company, while Amanda joined a marketing firm as their digital experience designer. We moved in together after a year, finding a cozy apartment overlooking the city. Every morning I would wake up beside her, thinking how lucky I was. Our relationship had its usual ups and downs, but nothing we could not handle. We complemented each other perfectly. When I got too absorbed in code, she pulled me back to reality. When her creative projects stressed her out, I provided the logical solutions she needed. Our friends called us the perfect match. The proposal happened during a hike to Snoqualmie Falls. I had planned it for months, coordinating with her best friend to ensure everything was perfect. The ring was special too, my grandmother's diamond reset in a modern band. When I got down on one knee with the waterfall roaring behind us, her eyes filled with tears as she said yes. That moment felt like the beginning of our forever. Wedding planning began almost immediately. Amanda threw herself into it, creating Pinterest boards and spreadsheets. We decided on a spring ceremony the following year. Our families were thrilled, especially my mom, who had always treated Amanda like the daughter she never had. Everything was falling into place exactly as it should. Work was going well too. I had recently been assigned to lead a new project, developing software that could potentially revolutionize how our company approached data management. It meant longer hours sometimes, but Amanda seemed supportive. She even brought dinner to the office when I had to work late. At least, that was how things appeared on the surface. The morning of my 30th birthday started like any other Tuesday. Amanda kissed me goodbye before heading to work, whispering that she had special plans for that evening. Throughout the day, she sent the usual text messages, including one around noon saying, "Getting your surprise ready. See you at home. Love you." I stopped at our favorite wine shop on the way home, picking up a bottle of the Cabernet we had discovered during our weekend trip to Napa last year. The florist next door had just received fresh tulips, Amanda's favorite, so I bought a bouquet to complement whatever surprise she had planned. Driving home, I felt content. I had the woman I loved a career with, promise, good health, and supportive family and friends. At 30, life seemed perfectly on track. Pushing open our front door with my elbow hands full with wine and flowers, I called out, "Amanda, I am home." The silence that greeted me was unexpected. Usually our apartment was filled with music or the sounds of Amanda moving around the kitchen. Tonight there was nothing. I set down my purchases on the entry table and flicked on the lights. "Amanda," I called again, moving through our living room toward the kitchen. My birthday card to her from last month still sat on the bookshelf, but something felt off. Looking around more carefully, I noticed several small things missing. The throw blanket she always used, the framed photo of her parents, her favorite coffee mug no longer hanging on the rack. In the bedroom, I discovered the closet door slightly ajar. Opening it fully revealed empty spaces where her clothes should have been. Not everything was gone, just enough to indicate this was not a temporary absence. Her toiletries had vanished from the bathroom counter as well. Back in the kitchen, I finally spotted the note propped against the fruit bowl. My hands trembled slightly as I picked up the folded piece of paper. Inside, in Amanda's neat handwriting, were words I never expected to read. "Joseph, I cannot continue this anymore. I have found someone better. Sorry for doing this on your birthday. A. I read it 3 times, trying to process what was happening. The words remained unchanged. Matter of fact. And final. No explanation. No real apology. Just a cold statement, ending 5 years together. The note even lacked her usual heart she drew when signing cards or notes to me. My first instinct was to call her. The call went straight to voicemail after 1 ring. She had declined it. I sent a text asking what was happening. It showed as delivered but not read. I tried again an hour later with similar results. Desperate for answers, I called her best friend Jenna. Joseph. Happy birthday, she answered cheerfully. Is Amanda with you, I asked, cutting straight to the point. A pause. No, why would she be? Aren't you two having a birthday dinner? Either Jenna was an excellent actress, or she genuinely had no idea what was happening. After explaining about the note, she seemed genuinely shocked. That makes no sense, she said. She was just talking about wedding venues yesterday. Are you sure this is not some kind of weird surprise? I looked around our half-empty apartment. This does not feel like a surprise, Jenna. It feels like she left. After hanging up, I called our mutual friends, her sister, even her workplace. Nobody had answers. Some expressed disbelief. Others, uncomfortable. Silence. I spent the night alternating between numbness and confusion, checking my phone constantly for any contact from her sleeping fitfully on what now felt like an impossibly large bed. Morning came with no clarity. I called in sick to work, unable to focus on anything besides the gaping hole in my life, and the question that kept repeating, who was this someone better she had found? The answer came the following evening through social media. My phone buzzed with a message from my friend Taylor. Man, I think you should see this. Attached was a screenshot from Instagram showing Amanda standing on a beach at sunset, arms wrapped around a tall, tanned man. I recognized immediately Daniel Peterson, her former colleague from the marketing firm. The caption read, "Starting my new life with the true man of my dreams." It was posted the evening of my birthday, probably around the same time I was finding her note. The photo showed them at what appeared to be an exclusive beachfront resort in California. Amanda was wearing a dress I had never seen before, looking up at Daniel with the same expression she once reserved for me. They were holding champagne glasses, toasting to what was apparently their new beginning, built on the ruins of what I thought was my solid future. Within minutes, my phone exploded with notifications. Friends and family had seen the post too, reaching out with various forms of, "Are you okay?" And I cannot believe she did this. My mother called, her voice tight with anger on my behalf. I just saw on Facebook, "Joseph, come stay with us for a few days. You should not be alone right now." I declined her offer, preferring to process this betrayal in private. But the privacy I sought was impossible as more people discovered the situation. The wedding planner emailed asking about cancellation policies. Distant relatives sent confused messages. Even my boss called to check on me after hearing rumors from someone whose partner worked with Amanda. Each notification was a fresh wound, forcing me to explain over and over what I myself still did not fully understand. The worst part was not knowing how long this had been happening behind my back. Looking back with newfound clarity, signs emerged that I had missed or dismissed Amanda's increasing criticism of my predictable career path, her sudden interest in fitness that coincided with Daniel's promotion to athletic apparel accounts, the work dinners that ran unusually late, her password changes on her phone, the decreasing intimacy between us, which she blamed on wedding planning stress. Daniel had always been present in the periphery of our relationship. Amanda mentioned him occasionally as a talented colleague she respected. He had even attended a few company parties. I joined her for always friendly but never particularly memorable to me. Now I wondered if their smiles across conference room tables had hidden deeper meanings, if their collaborative projects had been covers for something more personal. One detail particularly burned. 3 months ago, Amanda had taken a weekend trip to Portland for what she claimed was a professional development conference. Now I wondered if that hotel room had been shared, if that was when their affair had begun, or perhaps when it had deepened into something that made her decide I was no longer enough. The anger came in waves interspersed with devastating sadness. I found myself standing in our kitchen staring at nothing, replaying moments that now seemed suspect. The engagement ring I had saved for months to purchase. The wedding venue deposit. The life we had planned together now revealed as a fantasy I alone had believed in. Friends tried to help. They invited me out, brought over food, offered shoulders to cry on or ears to listen. I accepted some offers and declined others, moving through days in a fog of betrayal and confusion. A week passed. Then came the moment that pushed me from pain to something deeper. I was at the downtown shopping center, forcing myself to buy new clothes as a small step toward reclaiming my life when I saw them. Amanda and Daniel were exiting an upscale jewelry store laughing together. She wore sunglasses and a white sundress I had never seen. On her finger glittered a ring that made the one I had given her look modest by comparison. They spotted me at the same moment I saw them. Amanda's laughter died instantly. She removed her sunglasses, revealing eyes that widened in recognition but showed no trace of shame. "Joseph," she said. Her voice startlingly casual. "I was planning to call you once things settled." I stood frozen, shopping bags in hand, as she continued as if we were casual acquaintances catching up. "I hope you got my note. I know the timing was terrible, but there is never a good time for these things, right?" Daniel stepped forward, extending his hand as if we were being introduced at a networking event. "Daniel Peterson. I believe we met at the Christmas party last year." I stared at his hand without taking it. Amanda filled the awkward silence. "We should probably talk about the apartment lease and splitting our things. I left most of my furniture since I am staying at Daniel's condo now." She gestured vaguely toward the luxury high-rise visible through the mall windows. Daniel smiled, placing his arm possessively around Amanda's waist. "My company just promoted me to regional marketing director. The salary bump made upgrading to the penthouse an easy decision. The implication was clear: he could give Amanda things I could not." 3 months, Amanda said, answering my unasked question. "It started 3 months ago at the Portland conference." I tried to fight my feelings, "Joseph, but Daniel and I share a vision for the future that you and I never did. You were always so content with everything." She said content like it was a character flaw. "You were safe, predictable," she continued. "Daniel challenges me. He has ambition." Daniel checked his expensive watch. "We should get going, babe. We have that meeting with the yacht broker at 4. Amanda nodded, then turned back to me. "Oh, I almost forgot. I would like my grandmother's recipe book back and the crystal vase my parents gave us. You can keep the kitchen appliances. I know how much you like cooking." Something inside me broke in that moment. Not my heart, that had already been shattered when I found her note. This was my self-image, my understanding of my own worth. Standing there while they discussed their luxury purchases and Amanda casually dismantled our shared past, I felt smaller than I ever had before. That night I could not sleep. Work performance suffered as I made careless errors in code that would have been unthinkable weeks earlier. I nearly quit my job during a particularly dark moment, convinced that my lack of ambition had cost me everything that mattered. The project I had been so proud to lead now seemed meaningless. My apartment felt like a museum of failure. Even friends' encouragement rang hollow against Amanda's assessment of me, as the lesser option, the safe choice she had settled for until something better came along. This was rock bottom. And it was from this lowest point that I made the decision that would change everything. Standing in front of my bathroom mirror at 3 a.m., haggard from another sleepless night, I finally asked myself the question that would start my transformation. What if this is actually the best thing that ever happened to me? The thought seemed absurd initially. How could this betrayal possibly benefit me? But as I stared at my reflection, something clicked. Amanda and Daniel expected me to beg to fall apart to play the role of abandoned victim. Their power came from my reaction. What if I gave them no reaction at all? That morning, I made 3 decisions that would form the foundation of my response. First, I would completely disappear from Amanda's life. No calls, no texts, no social media presence she could monitor. I would become a ghost. Second, I would channel every ounce of pain into self-improvement. Not to win her back, but to rebuild myself stronger. Third, I would reclaim my narrative by refusing to be defined by her betrayal. I started immediately. That morning I blocked Amanda on every platform and changed my phone number. I contacted a lawyer about the engagement ring, which technically remained my property as a conditional gift. Rather than demanding it back myself, I had the lawyer send a formal letter requesting its return. Next, I found a new apartment across town and moved out within 3 days, leaving no forwarding address. I told only my closest friends and family where I had gone, swearing them to secrecy. To the outside world, including Amanda and Daniel, I simply vanished. With my physical environment changed, I turned inward. The software project at work that Amanda had dismissed became my focus. I volunteered for additional responsibilities and stayed late refining features. My boss noticed the change. "Whatever lit this fire under you, keep it burning," he said, after I presented an innovative solution to a problem that had stumped the team for months. I joined a gym, hiring a trainer who pushed me beyond what I thought possible. The physical exertion became a release valve for anger that might otherwise have consumed me. Each rep, each mile run felt like shedding another layer of the person who had been deemed not enough. Evenings that might have been spent scrolling through photos of Amanda and Daniel were instead dedicated to a side project, a specialized app for independent financial advisors that I had conceptualized years earlier but never pursued. Amanda had once called it a nice hobby idea when I mentioned it. Now, fueled by countless cups of coffee and rediscovered passion for creation, the project took shape. Social connections proved challenging but essential. I joined a support group for people recovering from relationship betrayals. Hearing others' stories helped contextualize my own pain and provided perspective I desperately needed. "The best revenge is not punishment," one group member told me. "It is moving forward so completely that they become irrelevant to your story." Those words became my mantra through difficult days when doubts crept in. There were still moments when I questioned my worth, when memories ambushed me, when the temptation to check Amanda's social media became nearly irresistible. But each time I redirected that energy into growth instead. 6 months passed in this focused state of reinvention. My side project attracted attention from several investors. My physical transformation was noticeable enough that colleagues commented on it. Most importantly, my sense of self-worth began to rebuild, no longer dependent on someone else's validation. During this period, I also met Lisa. She was the UX designer, assigned to collaborate with my team on the company's flagship product. Smart, thoughtful, and refreshingly direct, Lisa approached both work and relationships with authenticity that drew me in despite my hesitation to connect. Our professional relationship gradually evolved into friendship, then something more. Unlike my headlong rush with Amanda, this connection developed slowly, built on genuine respect and shared values, rather than intensity and future fantasies. When I finally told Lisa about what had happened with Amanda, her response stayed with me. "She did not leave you because you were lacking. She left because she was unable to recognize true quality when she had it. That is her loss, not yours." For the first time, I truly believed that might be true. The universe has a way of creating perfect moments of symmetry. 8 months after Amanda walked out of my life, several significant events converged within a 2-week period. First, my side project, the app Amanda had dismissed as a hobby, was acquired by a major financial services company for a sum that altered my financial future substantially. The deal included not just money but a position leading development of similar tools within their organization. Second, I received news through mutual friends about Amanda and Daniel. His regional director position had evaporated after financial irregularities were discovered in his reports. The luxury lifestyle they had flaunted was built on misrepresentations and unsustainable spending. The penthouse was gone, along with the weekend yacht excursions and designer shopping sprees. Finally, the messages began arriving. First, through mutual friends, "Amanda has been asking about you." Then more directly, Emails, voicemails on my work phone, even a handwritten letter sent to my parents' address. I made the biggest mistake of my life. Please, give me a chance to explain. I miss you every day. Daniel was not who I thought he was. Can we just talk? Please, I did not respond to any of them. My silence seemed to increase her desperation. The messages came more frequently, more emotionally raw. She appeared at my workplace once, only to be told I was working remotely that day. Then came the text from a number I did not recognize. I will be at Rosario's at 7 tomorrow night. Please come. I just want to talk. I know I do not deserve it, but please, give me this one chance. Rosario's was where we had our first date. The significance was not lost on me. After much consideration, I decided to go, not out of any desire to reconcile, but to properly close this chapter of my life. Lisa knew about the meeting and supported my decision secure enough in our relationship to understand my need for closure. I arrived exactly on time to find Amanda already seated in a corner booth. She looked different, thinner with shadows under her eyes that makeup could not quite conceal. She had ordered water, not the white wine spritzer that used to be her standard choice. "Joseph," she said, standing as I approached. "You came." "Thank you." I sat across from her, maintaining a neutral expression. "You wanted to talk." "I am here." She took a deep breath. "I do not even know where to begin. I made the worst mistake of my life walking away from you." Daniel was. She paused, collecting herself. He was not who he pretended to be. The job, the money, even his past, so much was exaggerated or completely false. "I am sorry that happened to you," I said, meaning it despite everything. "That is not why I am here, though," she continued quickly. "Even if everything with him had been real, it still would have been a mistake. What we had was real. Joseph. 5 years of building a life together. I threw that away for a fantasy for excitement that was never sustainable." Her eyes filled with tears. "I miss you. I miss our apartment, our routines, our inside jokes. I miss planning our future together." She reached across the table for my hand. I did not extend mine to meet hers. Daniel left when the money ran out. He moved to Chicago with some other woman he had apparently been seeing while we were together. She laughed bitterly. Ironic, right? But it made me realize what I had with you was the real thing. Dependable does not mean boring, it means trustworthy. Safe does not mean stagnant, it means secure. She pulled a small box from her purse and placed it between us, my grandmother's engagement ring. "I know I have no right to ask this, but is there any chance, any possibility at all, that we could try again? I would do anything. Joseph. Anything to show you how truly sorry I am and how much I still love you." For a brief moment I imagined what saying yes might mean. The familiar comfort of our old life. The validation of being chosen again. The romantic story of forgiveness and reconciliation we could tell. But that moment passed quickly, replaced by clarity that felt like sunrise after a long night. "Amanda, I forgive you," I said quietly. Her face brightened with hope. "But forgiveness does not mean reconciliation," I continued. "What happened between us cannot be undone. You were right about one thing in your note. You did find someone better, but it was not Daniel." She looked confused. "You found a better version of me. One I might never have discovered without this happening." As if on cue, Lisa arrived at the restaurant. I had asked her to join us for dessert, not as a power play, but because I wanted Amanda to see that my life had genuinely moved forward. "This is Lisa," I said as she approached our table. "Lisa, this is Amanda." The women exchanged polite greetings as Lisa slid into the booth beside me. I placed an arm around her shoulders, naturally comfortably. Amanda's eyes moved between us, recognition dawning on her face. "You are together." It was not a question, but I answered anyway. "Yes." For the past few months, I returned the ring box to Amanda. "You should keep this. Sell it if you need to. Consider it my final gift to you, complete freedom from our past." She shook her head, pushing it back toward me. "It was your grandmother's. It belongs in your family. Then, I will take it, Lisa said gently, picking up the box. Not to wear, but to keep safe until Joseph decides what to do with it. As we prepared to leave, Amanda grabbed my wrist. Are you happy? Truly happy. I looked at her, directly speaking the complete truth. I am, and I have you to thank for it. Your note on my birthday was the beginning of the best chapter of my life. Her eyes filled with tears again as she recognized the finality in my words. Thank you for coming, she whispered. I needed to see you one more time. As Lisa and I walked away, I heard Amanda softly begin to cry. I felt no satisfaction in her pain, only gratitude that I was no longer defined by it. Looking back now from the perspective of nearly 2 years since that birthday note, I can honestly say Amanda leaving was the best gift she could have given me. Not because I found someone better in Lisa, though our relationship brings me joy every day. The real gift was discovering my own resilience and worth. The journey from devastation to rebuilding was neither quick nor easy. There were nights I stared at the ceiling, questioning every choice I had made. Days when the temptation to call Amanda and beg for reconciliation seemed overwhelming. Moments when comparing myself to Daniel still stung despite knowing the truth about him. What made the difference was the support system I discovered. Friends who showed up with pizza and patience. Family who gave space when needed and closeness when requested. A therapist who helped me recognize patterns and establish healthier boundaries. And ultimately, my own determination to write a different ending to this story. My relationship with Lisa progresses at its own pace, built on transparency and mutual respect, rather than fantasy or external validation. We recently moved in together, a step we took after careful consideration rather than assumed progression. When disagreements arise, we face them directly, instead of burying them beneath surface harmony. The company that acquired my app has given me opportunities I might never have pursued in my previous life. The financial security provides options, but more valuable is the confidence that comes from turning a personal passion into professional success. Amanda and I have no contact now. I heard through mutual connections that she moved back to her hometown and started graduate school. I wish her well, and hope she has found whatever was missing for her. The most profound lesson in all of this is one I never expected. Sometimes losing what we thought we wanted creates space for what we truly need. Had Amanda not left that note, I might have spent decades in a relationship with someone who did not truly value me, never discovering my own capabilities or experiencing a connection built on authentic appreciation. Our greatest growth often comes from our deepest wounds. The betrayal that once defined my story is now merely a chapter in it, important for the direction it provided, but no longer the central plot. So if you are facing a similar betrayal or loss right now, know this: the path forward exists even when you cannot yet see it. Your worth was never determined by someone else's ability to recognize it. And sometimes, what feels like an ending is actually the universe creating space for a better beginning. Have you ever experienced a betrayal that ultimately led to unexpected growth? Share your story in the comments below. If this resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more real-life experiences and lessons learned. And remember to hit that share button if you know someone who might need to hear this message today. Thank you for listening to my story, and remember, sometimes the best response to being left is simply moving forward.